My name is Giuliano Campo. I teach at the drama department at MIT, and I'm the director of this production. And I also wrote the play, although I like to have all members of the team involved in the creation, including the play itself, the text. In this case, we identified a number of archetypes and also cultural influences. So the whole first part of the work was essentially working on this, embodying some archetypes, cultural archetypes, universal archetypes, or archetypes that come from theater itself. Then we started working on the different aspects of the production. Now, you have to be aware that a theater director is not like a film director. He doesn't really direct things. A good theater director just edits, gives tasks to the actor, must maintain a sort of a general idea of how the play might work, but cannot have a final, in mind, the final shape of it. Must work, must give the chance to the actors to be creative, and then edit what the actors are offering to the group.
I am Molly and I am one of the dramaturgs for our production of The Tree of Beauty.
I'm Lauren, I'm also one of the dramaturgs.
Basically, a dramaturg is in charge of the research that goes on behind the script and reading the script to make sure everything makes sense. And
if not, we reword it or rewrite it.
Yeah.
So like yesterday we done a song that was in the script and we took out some of the words so it made sense for the actors whenever they were singing it.
The time was the beginning of morning and the sun. It was rising with those stars when true love first set in motion at the hour of the day. And the sweetness of the season it drove me to the hope of escape. And from that peace, so I was put fear in her.
Yeah, so basically that's all we do. We kind of make sure the script is understandable to a sense, and we help the actors out with their research, make sure they're not getting overwhelmed with it. We proofread stuff. We go between all the different departments to make sure everything's running smoothly. We're like the directors here and dramaturgs are here. We're just kind of helping him out in his job if we can.
We collaborate with the actors to see if they can change what they want it to be, so it makes more sense to their character and base it around their character.
Yeah, so like, you know, whenever you have a script, the original draft that you write off the script is never the script that you perform. Basically, your script is constantly changing because of how actors may do certain lines, say certain lines. You know, you'll have to change it, fix it up a bit. make it flow better, because that's what scripts and performances are about, is finding that rhythm and that tempo. And if the words are interfering with that, that's when you have to change it to try and make it seem a bit smoother.
So it's not necessarily, it's not a musical, it's just music within a play, just to help with the flow of the action.
I'm Beth Curran, I'm the stage manager of the Tree of Beauty production. Stage management is very much behind the scenes. I am in charge of making sure everybody on the production team is happy, we have the work done, the sets designed, props are there, lighting's designed, everything. And then I report to the production manager with my developments and creations. And then on the day of the production, I run the show. I call the cues, I call the props, and I call the change sets. Problems that arise, you can never call it. Actors can get sick, set can come crumbling down, you forget bits of props, you forget lights, but you have to be prepared and you have to have backups, and that's what a stage manager does. The Tree of Beauty is unlike anything I've ever read before. It's an amalgamation of cultures, it's about the birth of theatre, and it's just picking and choosing the correct items for the performance that will enhance it rather than hinder it. Another key item of the piece is the cart, which we're not sure if we're going to have a symbol or an actual cart, but whatever we do, it will be right for our piece, because as you know, theatre is interpretive and subjective. Everybody's hope is that it runs smoothly and we get everything done and everything's perfect and everybody loves it. But realistically, I hope that we get the performance on, we get a good audience, and me and the team are proud of the work that we put on.
Well, I have led the team into various workshops. We've learned how to do very basic model making skills. We've also looked at researching the play. We've also looked at the text analysis, so how as a designer you would break down the text and really to pick out exactly what's needed of the production just from the text itself, and how to actually, you know, annotate all that in various different forms, techniques, and that you would always reference back to those things, and so you always have a guide as you're designing, you know, something that you can always follow. And there's no real mistakes with design. It's all about what works, what doesn't work, and what works in your head might not actually work in the production, but it's all about that journey, you know.
What you're asking is absolutely unusual. If I grant this, it will certainly be the last.
So in Tree of Beauty, everything's very centred around the actors and the actors' needs, and the team respond to those. So the costume team have been working closely with the actors, understanding their archetypes and their colour patterns, and as have the makeup team. They've been working very closely with them as well, to understand their ideas behind their characters and their character development. Basically, the theatre won't be set up like your traditional theatre. So we have the audience sitting on cushions and blankets, so there's not that distinction that you would have in a normal theatre space when you go on and you have the audience space and the stage space, so it comes together more, it's more organic and natural in that way.
Exactly. There it is, in its natural state. That's the lighting in its natural state that we teach, with the filter, with the lens, and the sunlight, the bulb. It's as simple as that.
In order to design the lights and coordinate them and operate them, we have to get a scope for what the venue's like, what they have and what they don't have, what's possible to us through that. So we start off with just a simple ground plan, and like lighting plan of what possible ideas could be. So that could be anything from simple sketch developed into proper plan. Then basically our role is to just provide lighting for the actors to light their face so the audience can see them, and just give an overall aesthetic to the performance, because if there was no lights, the audience wouldn't be able to see the actors, and the actors wouldn't feel like they were performing. So that's what we're here for. Within the Glassworks, we wanted to use the stained like windows and like the big windows that there is, like it's almost nearly like cathedral. So that's one sort of culture. Then bringing in and different colours that reflect sort of different cultures that you might think of.
And this needed stay, it will not be long now till our wedding day.
In the makeup team, we've really just been focusing in on just the general mythologies we've been given for the characters, the common symbols associated with those things. Like for example, Aphrodite. I mean, everyone knows Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty, and there are certain symbols that are associated with her because of that, like roses or doves or angels or light or seashells. It's that desire to try, and we've been trying to take in these little symbols and elements and try and streamline them into a makeup look that can actually be used. We wanted the actors to have a lot of input on how they felt their characters were. So we've been working a lot with them, just exchanging information, mood boards, just to help them embody the roles, but to also give us an idea of what it is they want.
So this is a tree branch out of chicken wire. We are going to feed some material through, as you can see here, and then we're either going to hang material from this or hang our leaves. We haven't decided that yet. We're in the process of making these, so it's a bit of trial and error, so it is, but yeah, so far so good. We're doing rightly. This is going to obviously attach to a wooden post, which is going to be the base of the tree. Set has been hard because we're literally going from nothing. It's never been done before this production, so we've nothing to go on. So it's literally all original ideas, and again, it's all trial and error. We had an idea for an umbrella tree, but then that wasn't as practical as we thought. So then that's why we're still stuck with the tree, because obviously it's a tree of beauty. And then we're gonna work with it and have material and have like quite pretty looking tree.
Our stage set up. We're finishing off props. We are going to start lighting the tree and simulate lighting the space in the Glassworks. Hope we're going to get a couple of gels, maybe a gobo, who knows.
One of the challenges we faced is just finding solid research that we can base our work upon and understanding the research that we're doing. So we're being introduced to a lot of new styles in this piece that we may never have been introduced to before. So we're doing Indian music, we're doing Chinese, we're doing Irish folk, we're doing acoustics.
There's an African one we're doing as well.
African one as well. The script's based off Greek myths and written by an Italian. So there's a lot of different cultures coming in, and sometimes that can be a bit harder to process, and so bringing in different cultures can be a culture shock. So I think just finding the good research and making sense of the research that we do as well, that kind of has been one of the biggest challenges. The archetypes, they work on 3 archetypes and merge them into one, which is their character. So like 3 gestures, 3 movements, 3 styles of holding themselves and moving through the space, using their voices in different way. Sometimes it can be overwhelming trying to merge them 3 into one, and using that one to be your character. So it's just helping them try and make sense of it, you know, and spending a lot of weeks of working on their archetypes.
Even suggesting certain like movements to certain like actors and just saying, listen, what about if you do this instead of what you're doing.
Yeah.
What if you improve it this way, or what about if we maybe change it a little bit and see if we can find more?
Maybe a bit provocative, but theatre must be provocative. That's a function of theatre, to provoke something, a reaction. The theme are beauty, the obsession of beauty, something that I believe the young generation is particularly affected. This obsession of perfection, aesthetical perfection. And this is something that the ancient, the Greeks, were already very aware of. So there are myths, stories in the Greek myths that refer exactly to this issue of beauty, of beautiful man, with tragic outcomes. So that's what we portray. Essentially, it's a pastoral. So it's a sort of creation of a imaginary world, a utopistic environment that is ancient Greece. It's the birth of theatre. It's the main characters are the company of Thespis. Thespis is the mythical first dramaturg in Western civilization in Greece. But it's also famous for having created a touring company. They used to travel by cart, famous Thespis cart, producing plays for different kinds of audiences. And theatre always worked on something that is universal.